tender chaos. One day the Fat Controller came to see Oliver. Oliver, I want you to take some chickens to the farm today. Yes, sir, said Oliver, and Oliver chuffed away. See you later, stupid tender engines, he said, and he chuffed away. Take that back, said Molly. Yes, said Emily, we'll show him. Tender engines are the best. Exactly, said Molly, and Molly chuffed away. She was going to teach Oliver a lesson till she went up Boulder Mountain. She did not like Boulder Mountain because of how steep it is. Suddenly, the hill was heavy. I can't hold on any longer, said Molly. Suddenly, it hauled her back. Molly raced down the hill backwards, and suddenly her tender came off the rails. And Molly stayed on the rails. Oh no, she said, my tender, what am I gonna do? Molly was so cross that it already happened. Then there was trouble. Emily arrived to see what was going on, till suddenly her tender went the wrong way. Her tender went the wrong way, and it went into a field and got derailed. Emily stopped. Oh no, not mine as well, she said. Molly and Emily were embarrassed. Then there was more trouble. Spencer was having a bad day. Come on, Spencer, said his driver. You have to do work. It's not that bad. I don't want to, said Spencer. Then suddenly, Spencer was out of control, and he accidentally shunted his tender into the turntable well. Oh no, said his driver. Wait, your tender! But it was too late. It went down the turntable well, and Spencer looked very silly. Meanwhile, Neville had an accident. The rails were slippery. He couldn't stop himself. His tender crashed into the buffers, and Neville accidentally shunted his tender into the river, and it got washed away. My tender, said Neville, come back. And Ferdinand had an accident too. Ferdinand dropped his tender in the river, and it got washed away too. Oh no, said Ferdinand, not mine. And it was. Donald had an accident as well. The lorry was on his line. Donald, said Cranky, stop! But Donald didn't stop. His tender crashed into the lorry, and Donald's tender was damaged. The lorry was in pieces, and Donald's tender was damaged. Damn it, he said. What am I going to do? And Hero was taking some empty trucks up the hill. The trucks were too heavy. I can't hold on, he said. Suddenly, one truck was off the rails, and the orange one came off too, and Hero's back wheel came off the rails and stopped, and Hero's tender fell off as well as the trucks. Oh no, said his driver. Hero, your tender. Now I can't move without it, said Hero. Then there was more trouble. Duncan and Murdoch were having a race. I'm gonna win, said Duncan. Yay, I win! Growled Murdoch. Suddenly he heard something. His driver heard it too. Murdoch's tender went the wrong way, and it crashed into the lorry, and it crashed into Donald's tender. The lorry was in pieces, and Donald's tender and Murdoch's tender were destroyed. Murdoch was annoyed. "I'll get you next time," he said, and with that, all the tender engines were having a big accident on the railway. At the next day after the accident was over, Molly, Spencer and Emily had their tenders back, except Murdoch. The Fat Controller was not impressed. "As you have been so mean to Duncan, your tender stays there till 5 weeks. "It's not fair," said Murdoch, but it did teach him a lesson that he should not have this race with Duncan, and with that, it taught him a lesson indeed. Now that Molly, Spencer and Emily had their tenders back, Murdoch has his back about 5 weeks, and it taught him a lesson every day.